medicine actually, as in the hall. There was no breakfast. So several of us, including the Prime Minister was just left, we went to Wandegea. And there was a market where they built that huge market now, the useless market. There was the people's market there. And there was katogo, you know. So you buy some katogo, go back to university, you eat, and you go for studies. We used to have strikes, but they were strikes on principle. For example, and you are hear this, we went on strike led by the medical students, the College of Medicine now, was Faculty of Medicine. And what were we protesting? Idi Amin had put a law that Makerere would be called Idi Amin University. So we said over our dead bodies. All of us who were outgoing and there, we all marched on campus everywhere. They were shooting all over the place. We said there's no way this university can be changed. We were quite active, and I think we continue to be active. But the reason I've given that example is that for me it was the beginning of an academic journey. And I was having people that were mentoring and inspiring me. In particular, Professor Dabela, who is still practicing not very far from here. He taught us cardiology, but he was a friend to each one of us on his ward, and he knew us by first name. So whenever you came as the first clerk on the ward, you say, "Oh, James, how are you? Yesterday you couldn't pick the bronchial breathing. Can I show you?" That was the depth of friendship that teachers had with the students. In my view, that has been diluted by the desire to produce large numbers. It is good to produce large numbers. But you know, if you have a nice drink and you start putting a lot of water, it loses taste. So I think I would like to appeal to the new leaders to really think about the quality of education, particularly the person-to-person contact. This business of mentoring and making friends, etc. So with that preamble, I can start my talk. So I will talk a little bit about the program and give some thanks, and say why we are in this business, and give you an overview of what it is all about, and then the way forward. So I want to thank all of you for coming, and I want to thank Hazel particularly from the UK, and others from elsewhere. We have several institutions represented. Aga Khan is represented here. Caroline, can you? Yeah. So Caroline, I mentored her. She's a nurse. She was working on my ward, and she's the best nurse in Mulago. Those who have worked with her. I think Dr. Chiguri would agree. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. And through contact, I said, you woman, are you going to die here as a nurse? And yeah, I think the mentoring has worked. She's now an academic, and she's teaching nurses at the Aga Khan. I particularly want to welcome you. I want to welcome Reverend Father Katarikawe from Kabale. And we have several institutions where I'm chair. So he had brought our budget for me to sign before he goes to the Ministry of Education. We are working very hard to start a medical school there. So Reverend Father Katarikawe, you are welcome. I think you can have your tea and go away. But this is an example of how work in the office starts at 7 o'clock. I mean, I've already finished signing all the budgets. And it's going away and doing things. So this business of keeping time uncut-away, you're so welcome. Because our work starts when we wake up, isn't it? Not when we go to the office. So those were the outsiders. I want to thank all of you from Makerere and elsewhere, and also Makerere University Management, particularly our acting dean, principal, and the deans, and others, all our other stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. I want to take you to the two places where we work. We work, most of us, for Makerere, and the others work for the Disease Palace. But we have the same objective: to make things better through training and service. So some do it at Makerere, some do it in the Disease Palace. The Disease Palace is looking not so beautiful these days, but it will come up again. I particularly wanted to share this slide because it's of great depth and also because it concerns me. If you look at that situation, there are two skilled people and they've carried out a popular operation. Caesarean sections have become the order of the day now. So, and I don't know, I'm not a woman, and I've not even bothered to find out so far, no matter why you women now prefer caesarean section. But we shall discuss that a little later. But people forget that to have an operation is a dangerous thing and you can get complications. Think about this woman who has a lot of dirty feet with dust and with Clostridium tetani there. Isn't it very easy for this woman to get tetanus from the operation? Yeah, but usually once the child is delivered, the obstetricians and whoever has carried out the operation is more interested in the mother and lets the baby go. Nobody actually remembers the baby until afterwards they go to see the baby is not breathing, and then they carry out APGAR score. They are supposed to give APGAR score of 0 to 10, and that baby who is not breathing is usually given an APGAR score of 9. Wrongly. Because the health worker thinks they will be blamed. This is very common and has become a phenomenon of Makerere University. We are now more concerned with legalities. So, for example, I have a doctor who was caught red-handed sexually abusing a patient in obstetrics. And I have the witness. The witness in the UK, and she's prepared to come here and testify. But we've gone through this dinosaur system. School, college, Senate, etc. And they have all said, Banange katumuleke aja kututwala mu koti. So we are more concerned with the upper score of 10 in somebody who has died literally, who should be squared below 5. But we are saying now, if I square this one low, then I will be blamed that I didn't monitor. We need to change our mindset and our thinking. And not fear the lawyers. The lawyers, they are less clever than us. What do they know is they have read the law. But we can also read the law. We have also got lawyers who can defend the university. We must not be cowards to defend the truth. And that doctor now in obstetrics, I even see him signing papers. And he's continuing to abuse women. But the university is happy that we are not going to court. I have another student whom Professor Kanya and I and Dr. Ibinjira, and I can see the others who investigated the case. This is a guy who did not do research at all and has written papers that for his PhD. And when we raised it, his professors went to the newspapers and they even went to court. And the university has said, let him graduate. This is incredible. And you see, for me, I'm free to talk like that because I'm not looking for a job. So, yes, but we need to be bold and say the truth because the truth liberates us. So, that child who is being neglected is going to be resuscitated. But you cannot resuscitate a child if you don't have the skills. And it is the skills, in my view, that make you a health worker. I don't care if you know how to communicate. Nobody taught me how to communicate, but I try to communicate. But if you cannot resuscitate that child, the parents, the country, our village will lose those children. And I'm afraid that if we do not become serious on skills transfer, giving skills to our health workers, then we are going to be producing health workers who do not know anything about health care. And I'll give you a sad example. If somebody is already in organ failure, how do you fly that person to Nairobi? Is there no doctor who can give advice? Professor Mbidi, Dr. Mbidi would never have sanctioned the transfer of Rosemary to Nairobi. But these days, anything goes. We stop being professionals. If you're a professional, give your professional advice. Because if the professionals cannot give professional advice, then we're in trouble. So, Mayombo gets a problem, you fly. Rosemary Nankabirwa gets a problem, you fly. There is a lady whose child was asthmatic, and the simple asthma, but it wasn't asthma, I presume, but this child who is having a serious respiratory problem, you put them on the plane to Nairobi. Don't we have doctors in this country who can give quality advice? So, Ibinjira, I can see you are uncomfortable. But if I see your zip is torn, I will tell you your zip is torn. If I don't tell you, I will join the crowd and start laughing at you. And if I'm telling you a fact, I think you should celebrate. So for me, I started my career development a long time ago, but it's very important to collaborate with other people from outside also. Because if you don't collaborate with outsiders, you think that your mother is the best cook. So all the time you are eating your food there, it is all out there. Then you go to Bwanga's mother. So there's better food than here. So it's very good for us to collaborate with others. And for us, we've established several collaborations with the University of Bergen, and also with the Karolinska Institute and others. I wanted to give that as an example. That gentleman is called Tokir Tyreska. He's a medical doctor, and after graduation, he was being mentored by Ross Hessling, who was a professor at Karolinska. And he told him that in life you can only make one discovery. So start thinking of what discovery you're going to make. So the young man said, what about this discovery? So he went to France, did a master's in French, in linguistics. So he got a master's in linguistics. And then went to Congo. And because he had that master's in French, he was able to investigate and carry out a very important case control study. Those of you who are students of clinical epidemiology know about CONZO, tropical spastic paralysis. And he found that it's cassava, actually, which causes that tropical paralysis. So whenever I meet him, he says, you know, I have no more discovery because my mentor said you discover only one thing. That time he was not a pediatrician, so I encouraged him. You have your PhD, and you've done a lot of research, but the PhD doesn't see patients. You are now coming here, you are struggling with children. Why don't you study pediatrics? So from his PhD, he went back to Norway and registered as a student, as a master's student in pediatrics. He was working part-time at the university, but also in the department. Yeah, so he had a PhD, but he went back to do a specialty. And within 3 years, he had his master's in pediatrics. Now he's professor of pediatrics, his PhD and his research projects, and we're working together very well. So I've learned a lot from him. I've also learned that in the Scandinavian countries, principle as you know, that you can get a PhD without a master's. You know, when we started, people were saying, how can you get a PhD without a master's? Then we saw students, first-year medical students. He's coming to do MBCHD, but also he's having a research track, and he's busy doing studies for his PhD. So in Uganda, in our college, we need to think out of the box. That's really what I'm trying to say, Dr. Kanu. The aim of this project is really to establish and strengthen the structured career development. Because all I'm saying is coming out of my mouth. It's coming out of every other person's senior mouth. And we've mentored a lot of people. But this is not institutionalized. We would like to see the college, the university, really mentor and support staff, right from the beginning to the end, so that you have a system that supports and mentors staff. But it must be based on the needs of the staff. And specifically, we aim to develop evidence-based models, support faculty career development. And this is based on a model developed by Hazel and her group. But we are looking at person development plans, doctoral supervision, and mentoring. And Professor Nakanjako is going to give you a little more details. But we've been doing this through seminars, workshops, case discussions, invited talks, and video consultations. 2, we wanted to pilot the implementation of career development series at Makerere, and we did that through the School of Medicine. Through regular sessions handle specific career development needs. And we want now to share this experience, and Damari will share the experience, so that we can scale it up to the college. And for us in this college, we should put at the top of our agenda training. Training and supporting health workers is our business. That's why we're here. That's why the college is here, to train. But you can't train a mechanic without a garage. Let me repeat that, Professor Kamya and Mr. Principal. You cannot train a mechanic without a garage. Neither can you train these food executives here without a food garage. How can you train people how to make tea if you don't have a place where they can cook? Right now, the garage where we're training the mechanics is under fire. Even the management of that garage doesn't want the spanner boys to come there. No, this is serious. So how can you train a mechanic, Dr. Mpere, when you don't have a garage? And there are no cars coming there, broken cars. So what type of mechanic are you producing? So we need to be serious and know that for us, health and in its different forms is our business. Yes, that's why we call it health sciences. So if we have no healthy people or ill people on which to train our mechanics, then we're in real trouble. And you know, if you are in the middle of it, you do not see how much trouble you are in until the outsider comes and says, Now, if this man here, Freddy, comes and his heart has failed, and the health worker doesn't know that your heart has failed, aren't you going to die? Yes, and we have many students who cannot diagnose heart failure. So what are they doing? So you'll have an opportunity to discuss in another venue what are the causes and the remedies. But for me, I want to be a messenger, and please don't shoot the messenger. So in this project, what are we up to? We would like to empower faculty members to take a leading role in development of successful, rewarding academic careers. But I think, Sarah, you remember people who keep coming to you, hey, but Professor Sarah, what did you do to become professor? Don't you get them asking you? Yes, I know sometimes I overhear them when you are talking on the corridors. Professor, how can I be like you? You know? And we know, Bwanga, your students keep asking you, Dr. Bwanga, how did you get the PhD? Now you are here, you are teaching us. how can we be like you? And Josephine was asking me like that. You're one of your students. So, and I'm sure many of you, people keep asking you, how did you become? So we would like to institutionalize that, make sure that our students, we give them a career plan, but based on their own personal plans. And for me, my popular question is, in the next 10 years, who is going to be Fred Bwanga? So in 10 years, Bwanga, what are you going to be? Yeah, I want to get married, I want to buy a car, I want to be a professor. Yes, and you can achieve all those. But you must be focused. But if people don't tell you about, if nobody ever warns you about that, you graduate, then you go and work in an NGO and get your money. From there you are becoming old, you don't have masters, new ones are coming up, you get those with masters, they will come and do the same jobs. Those who are even more focused, they will go and do other things. And for them, their career path becomes clear. But nobody ever does that to us officially. We just do them here and there. So we'd like really to empower our staff to know and to do what is supposed to do. You know, like Professor Sarah, she's in the management of the system. But many of the people, even just make an application for promotion, senior lecturer, from lecturer to senior, do they know? Many times they don't know. And they write the role, they even don't know how to write the CV to suit what the university wants. Yet the information is there. You got the meeting, hey, so these numbers, she's applying to be a lecturer. What are her qualifications? She hasn't even mentioned them. So we need to really support and help our people. I wanted to share with you some information from the School of Medicine Research and Ethics Committee, of which I'm the chairman. We do support research proposals, and it's really a tedious process for us. And we do that every Monday, and when the proposals become so many, we get many extra days. And we have a dedicated team of staff, like Fred Bwanga there last night. That's what we were doing yesterday. So I did an analysis of what type of proposals we are looking at and what type of people we are supporting. So the majority of people, about 100 per year, are master's students. And it's incredible how distressed and stressed these students are. They've undergone a course in epidemiology, on how to write proposals, but you can see that most of them haven't actually thought about their work deeply. And they've gone through a process, they've got lots of comments, and at the end of the day, their proposal is not what they wanted to do. Would you agree with me, Reverend, as a community representative? Yes. So it's a painful process they are going through. And it seems to me that through the development of their proposals, they have not really had in-depth one-to-one support from the supervisor. Yeah. So the supervisors, some of them are very busy. They have not even looked at the proposal. When it comes to the School of Medicine Research and Ethics Committee, they are saying, you know, I told the student not to present the proposal, but she went ahead and presented it. But you are the supervisor. So what are you coming to tell us? Really? So I think our students are having a raw deal. This is an area that we need to support. We need to support our students in terms of helping them develop their critical thinking and do what they want to do. Yeah, without diverting them too much. So the majority were master's students. Then we have a group of PhD students. And I think we are coming up because, Principal, I think this college has the highest number of PhDs now, isn't it? Amongst the staff. This is incredible. But we need to continue supporting them. And I want to thank Ellie for the work you are doing in this area. And then we have also got staff who've come with their proposals, and it's quite a good number, but I think we could do better in terms of the numbers. We are not having so many staff coming with their proposals. And then we have undergraduates. I think this one is from Cobas, thanks to Professor Chiguri and Professor Swangambo. The number of undergraduate students are also going up. Those doing some research in their work. So we really want to recommend that we take on this so that we can implement visionary, innovative, personal career development plans. And I'm just winding up, we want to really emphasize personal development plans, better graduate student supervision and mentorship. We had a pilot needs assessment. I'll not talk about it. Damari will talk about it. But we have been having monthly faculty development series in different departments, targeting career, mid-level, and senior staff. And also we've had several skills development workshops. So the meetings were held at times convenient for the staff, such as early morning and lunchtime. I want to thank our pilot team members, Eri Dankaye, Damali, and Dr. Nachimuli. So the way forward, in my view, Mr. Principal, is to launch this project so that it is institutionalized through the college. Because, as you know, institutions often live longer than individuals. For example, Makerere Medical School was started in 1924. And I don't think we have any of the original students there still around. But Makerere, is Makerere there? How many years? Thank you very much indeed.